Prepare yourself for invasion. This is Indie Invasion.
Hey guys, what's happening? It's Mac and Eric back again with the Indie Invasion podcast. We're doing something a little bit different today. We are just playing around and we've really kind of jumped on the bandwagon. We are on fire. Say fire for this new game, Reign in Hell. And so we decided we're going to talk a little bit about it with you guys.
But before we get to that, you guys, if you could do us a favor and like, subscribe, follow, and share, we'd really appreciate it. It helps the videos get out there to the rest of the world. So, Reign in Hell, Mac. This is a new one for us. We just found out about this a week ago.
Was it even a week? 1 week, right? 1 week Friday. 1 week Friday, I think.
Real quick. Tell them about the game. You had a video earlier on today that viewers can go and kind of see your first impressions of your first game of it. But just to refresh people, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of split this up. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the game, give you guys a summary, and some of the lore, the backstory.
Yep.
And then we'll do another one where we're going to dive into the different, they call it philosophies. So that's your factions of the game. And then we'll probably do a third one where we talk about more of the rules, the meat of the game, and some of the standout ones that make this a really cool game. But Mac, give them a summary of Reign in Hell.
Well, let's see. Reign in Hell is a demonic skirmish combat game.
That's why I left it up there.
There you go, right? Demonic skirmish, in case you couldn't read the bottom there on the video, is demonic skirmish combat. And since we're talking about the lore for the game, what it basically is hell is flipped upside down. We'll get into a little bit more detail, but basically the powers that are there are vying for control. These different factions or cabals, as the book refers to them, are struggling and fighting over who is going to be in charge of hell. You're playing your faction to try and, depending on, and we'll talk about this in a later video, depending on what the philosophy of your cabal is, whether you're trying to restore the old order, create a new order, or
just burn it all
and get rid of everything. Right. So those are, and we'll talk about that kind of stuff as we go into some more videos. And these are just going to be short videos, not going to be real long, but we really
overview.
Yeah, we really have enjoyed the background and the game itself. Well, I had the opportunity to enjoy the game today because I got to play it. And if you watched the earlier video that we posted on the YouTube channel, it was exciting enough that we immediately are going to start our campaign. In fact, just got a message from my buddy who I played with today. He messaged me and said, I ordered my demons. So we're off. He has to paint his. I don't have anything to paint, so I'm good. I'm just going.
I got to paint mine. Yeah, I made two, and I got to paint mine. Yeah,
I'm just going through the hundreds and hundreds of miniatures that I already have to add to my cabal to make it regular now, since we played a little bit differently. So basically what happened was in the lore, and you need to go read it, go buy the PDF, but we'll give you, I don't want to go into too much detail because I want to save
them the cliff notes of
it. Want to save the story itself for you to go and read the book. So really, I guess this is like an elevator pitch for it. I'm going to give you just enough that you'll go and buy it so you can read the rest of it.
Hell.
And that's right. It only goes down, baby. But so basically, hell was this ordered place, which, in a lot of games and fantasy settings, that kind of makes sense. Even though they're the bad guys and they're evil and nasty and all of these other things, there still has to be an order to how they conduct things. So it was a chaotic order, but it was order.
Yeah.
And ultimately humanity finds out, because they have to get souls have to come willingly, make a deal with the devil. For you music lovers out there, a la Robert Johnson making a deal with the devil to be the greatest blues player ever. So that kind of thing. So it has to be a willing deal. Well, the humans find out about it. War ensues. The gateway to Earth is busted, basically. And then hell falls into the command structure falls apart. The control falls apart. The order falls apart. And then we find ourselves, boom, here's where we are.
Yeah.
Now, one bit of the lore that I will give you that's not actually Reign in Hell lore, but is kind of cool. There's an old game called Helldorado that's a really neat game. The miniatures are pretty good. They were a little hit and miss. I've got a bunch of them. Some of them are really good, and some of them are like, that's weird. But the setting was kind of the same. Obviously, Helldorado versus El Dorado.
Yeah.
But the thing that struck me about Helldorado and Reign in Hell, which is part of the reason I think it appealed to me so much, because I really like the fluff in Helldorado, is when the humans go and attack Hell, that's like the setting of Helldorado. A little bit different. There's some nuanced differences there in the story, but that kind of fits what the backstory could be of Reign in Hell. So I just thought that was neat, because I like Helldorado and I like how the two kind of coincide a little bit. And I may actually be able to use some of my Helldorado miniatures in Reign in Hell. Since
I was just thinking about that. You mentioning that, those probably would fit right into this game for minis.
Yeah, and I know right after Tabletop Minions posted the video of the game coming out, one of the guys, I wish I had gone back and seen who made the comment, said, it would be really cool if there was a supplemental faction that was a surviving band of the Crusaders that had gone into hell that you could play. I was like, that's really cool. And the Helldorado miniatures would be perfect for that.
Yeah. And I think this game they give you enough lore and history and kind of background, backstory and stuff of the game that they could easily just add to it, expand to it, come up with new stories that just could, because it is kind of open-ended, that you can do that. So that's kind of cool. That'd be cool to have humans in there, witch hunters and stuff.
Which we've mentioned that particular style of lore many times, and we really like it because it builds a base for you and then says, now go do what you want with the game. Now go make it yours. You know what I mean? It gives you enough lore to be super appealing and go, that's a really cool spin. I like that. But doesn't give you so much lore where it goes, okay, this is what the lore is. You are now boxed in, and this is how it has to be. And this is how everything works. So it just it frees you up while still giving you a baseline for the story. Really like that.
Yeah, I could totally see you coming up with new scenarios, because this game it's scenario based.
Yeah,
you can do the one-off type of things, or even just play a single scenario from the campaign. But I know it's really geared up towards that campaign where you're playing and you're kind of building the characters up. So
and I know I mentioned this in my other video, but I'm going to say it again. When we ended our game, even though it's not our campaign group, we still rolled on the campaign chart at the end to see what happened to our demons that were killed. And everybody did fine. Everybody got no effect, which kind of sucks, because even if you get something bad, you're like, I want to get something besides no effect. You want the good stuff. You want to roll 2 12s, because the 2 12s is really cool. You get a demon evolution, so they go up basically a level.
Okay.
And are able to move from. So go read the rule book, but there's levels for each one of the demons, and they get the next level just by that roll. Like, you don't have to spend anything. It's like, boom, you were so awesome. You got lucky in the void or the mix or the fire or wherever it is you come from.
And they evolved. Like Pokemon, they evolved.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, torture demon, I choose you.
That's terrifying.
right. This is horrible. Armor demon, I choose you. Watch out, Pikachu.
But that's about the lore of the story, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna do some more videos where we dive into a little bit more what you need to play the game and kind of what's in there. I mean, it's basically you're playing demons in hell. So you're just kind of beating on each other too. This is kind of just your basic rock'em sock'em. It's got some cool new dice mechanics we've never seen, and it also has the tried and true like 6-sider die. You know, and you're rolling handfuls of them. So the stats are simple to read. There's really not a whole lot of math, so this is a great entry type of game for younger players.
It really is. The mechanics are really simple, and the engine itself, I think you could use across a number of games, particularly ones that didn't involve ranged combat, because currently, at least to my couple of readings over the book, which, to be fair, my readings haven't been as thorough as they will be when my paper copy gets here, because I've said it a million times. I start reading my PDF and I'm like,
you kind of space off.
Yeah, I can't. And they put that book in my hand, and I'll have my nose will be buried in it, and I'll be studying it. But I like the different sections in the book too. And we kind of link to the lore in the background as they have the different philosophies, like we mentioned. And each one is very flavorful, where they have quotes in there. They talk a little bit about like what their beliefs are or what they're trying to do. So it ties right into that lore of all these different factions of demons that are trying to get whatever their agenda is, accomplished in hell. So, and it all ties together. I really dig that about the lore. It kind of sucks you in, where you want to play, one of mine I made was judges. I want to play the judges because they just sound badass. Well, that's who I fought today.
Yeah, they didn't sound like they fared too well, though.
They did not.
Well, you're playing a bunch of nutsos.
Well, I mean, if the shoe fits, right? If the shoe fits, you got to wear it. Demon apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, I guess.
That apple with a worm in it?
That's right. Watch out for that worm. But, one of the other things that really appealed to me, and I know the initial perception when everyone looks at the game and they go, oh, Rain in Hell, this is perfect. Now I can use all of my Warhammer 40K demons.
Well, yeah, that's a bunch of mine are that and Seamon. So
Right. But I think it's really an opportunity for a guy who sculpts some really cool, freaky demon miniatures. He's a really small company. It's Heresy Miniatures, and he's in the UK, and he has some amazing looking, freaky demon-esque monsters that would be so perfect for it. I've got a good bit of his stuff. As a matter of fact, the corpulent demon that I'm using, the model I'm using, is from Heresy Miniatures.
What I thought it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, when you have a cover, let's see if I can remember how to do this, right? When you have a cover like that,
right.
You could have some fun with the models that you're picking. So, yeah.
So I'm gonna
just tells me this game's fun.
Yeah, and I like I said it in the video earlier today, but it really was. It was a lot of fun. I was already expecting it to be pretty good after I had read through it. You know how you build an expectation just from reading the rules, where you're like, okay, I get that, and that makes sense, and this will be pretty cool, and this will be pretty cool, that kind of thing, where you get that expectation. But it was a little better than that for me. So I thought that was pretty neat. So you shared a screen. I'm going to share a screen.
Yeah, you got some models to show everybody to give them some examples.
I do.
Okay.
Not actually. I want to show you exactly what I was talking about, and that is Heresy Miniatures.
Okay.
So you can see here, he's got a large. I don't know how large. I guess if you blow it up on your screen, that would be a fair bit larger than that. But he's got just a ton of really cool, freaky. Like, it doesn't get any freakier than this guy right here, right? Like, what is that? I don't even know what that is. Okay.
That's a hat demon. That's what it looks like. Is a hat.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what it is, but he just has so much cool stuff. And we always are talking about indie games, and this is an indie game developer, or not an indie sculptor. So it fits so well with the game. Here you go.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want that in their demon army? Come on. There's a tentacles dude.
Yeah.
Right out there, a lesser demon tentacles dude. Oh dear. I probably shouldn't have done that. Now I'm going to end up putting that in my cart.
You just need to turn that screen off.
I just need to turn that screen off. But on the plus side, Andy, the sculptor, he always sends you some candy in your box with your miniatures. So,
right. That's right.
That's a win right there.
So I guess the note for everybody watching this out there is to, even if you haven't read the rules yet, go hunt some demons down that you can use. I guess check out the game, right?
Yeah, I mean, definitely check out the game. It's over at snarlingbadger.com, which we've thrown that up there several times. And really, it's $10 for the PDF. It's $15 for the printed book, and you get the PDF. Yeah. So
that's through Wargame Vault. They got great stuff there. Used them a couple times.
Yeah, and I mean, for $15 to get a game that you can already use all of your existing miniatures. Yeah. And even if it doesn't become your main game, which, I mean, being honest, most of us that are playing indie games, now I have 2 indie games are my main games, but for the most part, these are the games that kind of fill the gaps.
Yeah, this is it seems to be a quick game, right? You said it was kind of a quick game, so you can quickly set up and do another one.
Had we not been bumbling our way through the rules, I would say 40 minutes.
Okay, that's not bad. That is not bad at all.
No, not at all. It doesn't play quite as fast as, say, Relic Blade, but I thought that it played really fast. The figuring out the rules and the having to look back up your abilities. I would say that when you make your faction, this is the kind of game where, until I make my cards for my individual characters, I'm going to stick with the same faction just because I want to be able to get my rules down. Yeah. Know what my rules are, not have to always flip back in the book and just kind of know what it is I'm doing with them, as opposed to going, okay, well, let me go look at the book. Let me figure out what this one does. Because there was a lot of that today. But, I mean, that's first time game. What do you expect? Although I will say that Seth was the man, because I would go, I got to look up what this skill does. And he said, it does this, because he's a school teacher and they're on coasting mode right now at the end of the year. So he was like, I got a lot of free time in my classroom right now. I've been reading the book a lot. I was like, okay, cool. So he was the savior today with all the rules.
That's good. That's good. All right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. We just wanted to dive into the game a little bit, go into some of the lore so you guys get kind of a background to see what's going on in the game. And go check it out, snarlingbadger.com, Rain in Hell. They have the links there that you can go and download, just the PDF or the PDF and the book, under $20. Yeah, you can't beat that. And then use whatever you have around the house. I mean, half my stuff is board game miniatures. So, but that's going to be about it for this one. We will have a part 2 where we dive into the philosophies a little bit, and then maybe a part 3. We'll see about some of our favorite game mechanics. But guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, share, all that stuff. And if you want some more audio content from us, you can find Indie Invasion audio content on podcast, Podbean, iTunes, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Stitcher, Spotify, and Pocket Cast. I kind of had a little brain cramp there.
I was wondering. You getting old.
2 different spots, and it was confusing me.
You're getting old there.
And please check out our Facebook page. We're posting a lot of projects in there. You can find our other videos up on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Discord are also places you can visit to see some of our projects. And feel free to drop us a line at indieinvasion@gmail.com and let us know about some more indie games that you guys have discovered that we have yet to discover.
Because we need to discover them.
We need more, right?
Absolutely.
More. And all those places that we just mentioned, you can find them in one simple place. That is CoastalCon website. That's our main supporter for the Indie Invasion podcast. And that's at coastaltext.com. We have all the links for all those places in there. And you can listen to the audio podcast straight from the website, well as find links to our other supporters of the show, whether it's Unipolar Games or Jim, the tabletop engineer, who has 2 magazines out there that you can enjoy. Well, one is a subscription, the other one's free, but they're all digital magazines. So you don't have to wait for them. As soon as they come out, you got them.
And if you want to buy any of these sweet indie games, who would they talk to?
That would be Alan at Discover Games, and his website is discovergames.net.
You are correct, sir.
Right. It's starting to get burrowed in there.
Getting in there.
And if you guys like what we're doing here at Indie Invasion, please visit us at Patreon. We have a Patreon account there. It's patreon.com/Indie Invasion. That's a little dig at you from earlier.
Some kind of slash. It's a slash, whatever.
All our content on there is free for everybody to go to and enjoy. You do not have to give, but we would appreciate it if you do. But that's it for tonight for this part 1, and dive and look into Rain in Hell, Demonic Skirmish combat game. It's new by Snarling Badgers. Check it out, guys. And while you're digging for your demons through your house and all your old board games and old skirmish games, prepare yourself for the invasion, guys.